Hi guys. First of all, before we carry on with this video, I'd just like to say thank you very much for our 5,000 something subscribers that have subscribed this past month since we rebooted this channel. We really appreciate it. If you like what we say, give us a like. If you don't, say something in the comments. It would be nice to hear your opinions. So, time to proceed. Jad, what's on the agenda today?
Well, we have to talk about the bombshell that hit us yesterday. Formula One denied Andretti Cadillac an entry with somehow a teaser, maybe in 2028 we'll give you an entry. Now this is something you and I, Paul, have talked about a lot, and we have our views about it. And I know you feel it's something you feel strongly about. So yeah, let's start with you.
Okay, first of all, when the news broke, I thought that Mario was quoting Michael, but Mario said he was devastated, and I think he spoke for everyone in the Andretti family and the Andretti organization, Cadillac. I think most fans, I mean, if you look at our report, we have comments. There's a lot of comments. People, I don't see one really comment that's actually saying this was a good idea. So yeah, I'm still processing the information. I'm curious to what the FIA is going to respond to, because as of speaking, this is our first, let's call it, reaction video. We'll probably talk about it more when the FIA reacts. I don't see them lying down to this. This is almost like a declaration of war to a certain extent, because the FIA and Ben Sulayem have been lobbying for this. Ben Sulayem said this is an offer that Formula One cannot refuse. Andretti's got a well-structured plan to enter Formula One. And the fact that they've been booted out until 2028 at least just sounds like to me, it stinks. It really does. I've always said this: Formula One needs 12 teams. The 11th team, Andretti, was a no-brainer, especially when they went through the huge due diligence that they went through. Formula One shot themselves in the foot. From where I'm standing right now, Formula One shot themselves in the foot until I hear any good arguments. Basically, Formula One pandered to the existing 10 teams that have turned the Formula One. They've circled the wagons, basically, and that's it. That you can't get in. So how can they be the pinnacle of the sport when you have teams like Andretti ready to come in? What if Toyota Gazoo decided to do a Formula One program? They're well equipped. They're a World Endurance Championship. They dominate. So they can't. They're not even thinking about Formula One because there's no in. So how can they call themselves the pinnacle of the sport? Are they really the 10 best teams? Are they 10 teams? You know, Red Bull have 2 teams. I'm going to say that they're 2 teams equals 1. So I don't know if any major sporting league that calls itself a sport, 2 teams are owned by 1 person. 1 person here is Red Bull own VCARB, and they own the Red Bull senior team. So that to me is 1 team with 4 cars. Haas, I mean, it's a Dallara with Ferrari stuff. He's like a Ferrari B team, you know. So I'm aggrieved. I'm devastated, like the Andrettis. I'm actually out of words, because I could go on for an hour rant at what's so wrong about this and the positives that the Andretti would have brought from a commercial perspective, and the pie would have got a lot bigger. But we've got 10 teams now who have this booming pie. They're not prepared to share it. They're short-sighted. And I'm afraid they're led by 1 man. They're led by Toto Wolff, who controls Formula One. What Toto says, people do. It's just the way it is. And I know Mercedes are not going to like me for saying this, but Toto is far too powerful for the sport. I think he led the cry against Andretti from day one. He did not listen to reason. And yeah, Formula One have played all the jokers they had, like logistics, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, they've erred on this one.
Yeah, I cannot fault anything that you said, mate, on this one. That was a big mistake. But I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. Try to explain the other side of the story. Not as much explain it, but just put it out there for our viewers. And yeah, let them judge it. So basically, it's all about the money. They say it's in the statement, it's about the added value and the value of the sport and all this kind of really well thought words which they put there, which the lawyers put there most probably. And now they're telling you, yeah, it's not about the money. No, it is about the money. It's the fact that now the worst F1 team, I think, it's valued at least 0.9 of a billion, at least the worst one we're talking. And Andretti, they're going to come in, they're going to pay the 200 million fee, entry fee, and they're going to be part of this franchise, which in a couple of years will be worth, the Andretti operation will be worth a billion. I can hazard a guess and say even more, because the Andretti name on its own, it will give it an extra boost. So it's going to be over a million. So that is the problem there. This is the problem. This is the elephant in the room. Not competitiveness, not sporting, not the good of the sport, not the value, added value, nothing about that. My surprise is that I always felt or believed that they could find a leeway around this to make everyone happy. Maybe Andretti paying more money. I don't think GM would have been against the idea of putting in some more cash to increase this the entry fee as a sweetener for the deal for the other 10 teams. But yeah, I'm surprised that they took this decision. It's interesting to see how it's going to pan out in the end. Like you said, I don't think Andretti are going to just take it without a fight. They're gonna make a fight for it, I feel. So the FIA's stance on this is going to be interesting. But yeah, despite all these things that the teams had, and it's their point of view from a money perspective, I thought they could have made it work. They didn't.
Yeah, it's very selfish, very short-sighted, and but again, it's a business. It's about money. At the end of the day, I'm very, very curious to see how Mohammed Ben Sulayem pans out. And this video is just part one, as mentioned. It's the reaction video. But really, we need to know what Andretti is going to do, because if Andretti is serious and the war talk before he is applied, namely an army of lawyers are going to take this on and ask questions about, is it seriously the pinnacle of the sport? And then how come it's closed doors? But more importantly, I think, is the FIA. The FIA is the governing body. They have the right to add 12 teams. That's part of the deal. And Formula One would be very, very healthy with 12 teams. Irrespective of the size of the pie will grow. And if the teams are properly sourced, like for instance, you get a Team USA, which Andretti would be, that's a huge market. And then if you can go and you can have a team from China, for instance, and you have Team China and you get the Chinese super involved with their industry, or any other big nation or industry or corporation that wants to get involved, well, they can't, because the doors are closed. So therefore, pinnacle of the sport is not a thing. So Formula One has to really seriously look at this, and I'm really curious to see where it evolves. This is not a story that ends, so tune into the next one, which will really be about how the FIA are going to react to this.
Yes, exactly. It's not going to end here. And as an extra teaser, because I've been reading in details the Formula One statement, there's lots of interesting things been said there, and on which I'm going to be writing an editor's desks, which the viewers can see on our website. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on over there. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to the next chapter of the story.